From Delegate Fairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Speaking to the sheriff specifically, my kindred spirits, so good to have you guys come in here today. Let me ask you, the provisions that are in the bill that are going to address training and the infrastructure that's going to be required, in your experience out in, particularly out of rural Maryland, how do you even see the infrastructure that in the state, in your areas, to accommodate the ranges and all the other provisions that the bill seems to lay out and a mandate for?
Delegate, that's a great question. I can tell you that in Southern Maryland, actually, the 3 sheriff's offices don't even have a range. We have to borrow ranges. For a citizen, a law-abiding citizen that has a firearm, to find a place to train or receive training is very, very difficult.
How about Wycomico in that area, Sheriff?
Wycomico County Sheriff's Office, we do not have a range. We have to go to the Eastern Correctional Institution down in Somerset County. We have to drive all the way down there just to qualify for the events. These ranges do not exist due to liability reasons. I have no idea how this is going to be facilitated if it's passed.
Your experience with the state police. When state police on the Eastern Shore, where do they go for their range training?
They have to go up to Queen Anne's County and or Chester County on the lower shore, and or to ECI. We used to go to ECI and go to Chester County.
So it's safe to say that we really can't accommodate this type of training, at least right now in Maryland.
Logistically, I have no idea how this will occur.
Thank you very much.
Delegate John.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I thought this question would have been more appropriate for the governor, but I think it might be appropriate based on your testimony. I think this bill is dishonest because I don't think it really covers gun violence. There were 195 murders in Baltimore City last year. 70% were committed by convicted felons on parole. Maryland has the highest rate of early release of convicted felons of gun crimes in the United States. Nobody in the press, the governor, nobody wants to talk about that. Now, I have a bill which I'm going to convert into a amendment to this bill. It's House Bill 424. And what that bill does is it says that if you commit a crime of violence with a gun, there will be no early release, no parole, and no plea bargain. You serve your time. In Baltimore City, that would have turned the murder rate into 65 instead of 217, but 195 by gun. Now, in your opinion, is that an important part of this whole debate on gun violence and this bill that is being left out?
Absolutely. On October 17, 1995, Trooper First Class Eddie Blank was shot and killed during a traffic stop in Somerset County, Maryland, shot in the face with a .45 caliber handgun by a 3-time convicted felon, a man who 14 months earlier had been convicted of cocaine trafficking with a firearm and sentenced to 12 years in prison. And 14 months later, he was out and he killed an out-of-state trooper. 13 weeks after that, I made a traffic stop on US Route 13, got into a struggle with a convicted felon with 2 previous armed robbery convictions, both with a firearm. We fought for control of my gun, and I also had to shoot and kill him. If we were to keep these individuals behind bars where they belong, we'd be a much safer society and enforce the current laws we have on the books. That's all we're asking. We do not need new legislation.
Well, this General Assembly, every year, including last year, it created a new college within the prison system that allows criminal violent offenders, except for murders, which my amendment prohibited, to go to that college free of charge, and as a result to get early release. I think the mentality is inconsistent and somewhat hypocritical in this General Assembly. That if you are going to always promote legislation for early release, and at the same time claim that you want to prevent gun violence, that there's somewhat of a hypocrisy there. Would you not agree that this legislature can contribute to preventing gun violence if every year it contributes to part of the problem, which is early release?
I certainly do agree, sir.